That's an offense. Actually, everything that's described about the holy name in the scriptures is perfectly true. There's no exaggeration whatsoever. It just happens to be that the holy name is fabulous. Fantastic. So those kind of thoughts naturally come from the mind because the mind is very doubting, very cynical. The mind looks at the bad side of everything. So we just have to keep chanting until the mind is purified. Ceto darpana marjanam. Huh? Yeah, beat the mind with a shoe, a stick in the morning and a shoe at night. Don't uncritically, don't let your mind lead you anywhere. Don't give the mind any degree of independence. Always monitor the mind and critically evaluate its outputs and make sure that the mind is not giving you any nonsense. Keep it on a very short leash. The mind is not trustworthy, ever. It's like a wild animal, you know? A wild animal sometimes can be made to behave. But then as soon as it gets an opportunity, you know. So you have to keep the mind always very in a very limited box, a cage. Keep it locked up. Because the mind, if it has freedom, it can do a lot of damage. Just like, you know, well, for example, this guy who was thinking of committing suicide, right? Because he was listening to his mind. Oh, you can't be happy. You failed in life. It's all over. It's useless. Might as well just kill yourself. Yeah, what the heck? See, he's listening to his mind. The mind is not a reliable counselor. In fact, that's about the last person or thing that you want to listen to when you're having a rough time, is your own mind. Because your mind will come to all kinds of false conclusions. That's what the mind does. The mind does not follow logic. It follows a principle of association based on similarities to past painful incidents. Why does it do that? Because the mind's business is to warn us if the present situation looks anything like anything bad that happened in the past. That's what it's there for. It's like an early warning system. You know, this guy is acting sort of similar to that guy that hit you upside the head 20 years ago, right? Well, of course, there's no relationship between those two guys at all. It's just that maybe one looks like the other one, or one, you know, tends to speak like the other one, or something like that. But the mind is so much driven by associations that you'll see somebody who looks like this guy that hit you on the head 20 years ago, and you'll start getting a headache. That's how the mind works. See? So don't let the mind have much scope. Keep the mind very tightly reined in, very tightly controlled. And then use the intelligence to evaluate what the mind is saying. Is this any good? Is this right? Is this wrong? Is it useful? Is it not? You'll find that 95% of what the mind puts out is just junk. It's garbage. Useless. Instead, fill your intelligence with the words of the Shastra. And use the Shastra as a map to navigate your life, and you'll be much happier. Any more?
Yeah. Question from Thiago. Once we go back to the spiritual world, do we somehow remember about our passage on the material plane? Do we even know that we've been here? And long in spiritual terms means all these lives we pass here?
Well, Narada Muni was asked about his past. And he told the story of how he became Narada Muni. You know, based on that example, you might remember how you became a devotee or how you got out of the material world. But why would you want to remember all the other stuff? It's just like we don't remember our previous lives normally. Because what would be the utility of it? what would be the use of it? Is there any benefit to remembering what a rascal you were in your previous life? It's better forgotten. Huh? It's better that we let go of that and we just concentrate on the work that we have to do now. It's just like people always say, how did we get from the spiritual, if we're eternal and we come from the spiritual world, how did we get into the material world? But that's not the issue. The issue is how to get out of the material world. We don't want to remember how we got here. We want to know how to get out. See? And then people get into these huge debates and go on and on and on about this subject. But that's not what's important right now. What's important right now is to get out of this suffering, get out of this conditioning, get out of this unnatural situation that we're in. So we don't really need to remember all that stuff. We just remember that, oh, I was in the material world, and then by the blessings of my spiritual master and the mercy of Krishna, I was able to get out back to a normal situation. And I'm very thankful. Okay. Oh, more?
Two more.
Two more. Got me on overtime.
Question from Marino.
Joke and a half.
Question from Marino. How are the material impressions transferred to the next body?
By means of the subtle body.
Question from Tiago. Do we create karma with stupid dreams? Once you said that we have some dreams to address some weak karma, so I was wondering.
That was not creating karma, that was discharging karmic reactions. Okay.
That's it.
What do we got here? G sharp. Or would you believe A? Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Dayane. G sharp. Here, G sharp. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatam Kana Kalaye. Ito Nrishingo Parato Nrishingo. Yato Yato Jamitato Nrishingo. Yato Yato Jamitato Nrishingo. Pahir Nrishingo Hridaye Nrishingo. Pahir Nrishingo Hridaye Nrishingo. Narasimham Ading Sharanam Prapadye. Kara Kamalavare Naka Duta Swingam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare. Madhuta Sringam Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare